Hi and welcome to Add More Zest, and my name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and it's time to kit up a new 30 by 40 painting. So I recently dekitted the mystery painting from Kudiels, which means I don't have a 30 by 40 or smaller kitted up. So I have my decision wheel which decides which diamond painting I'm going to do. My lovely cracked screen protector, but it is just the screen protector, so I'm ignoring it. So let's have a look at what the app is going to decide. Dynamic Floral. This one is a square painting, and if I remember rightly, let me just get down my square paintings, of which if you've seen my stash video, I only have 4. This is my Dynamic Floral. This was sent to me by Katie. They gifted it to me. Oh, it was actually this last year. But it's a rhinestone painting. It's all done in rhinestones rather than your normal diamonds. So it'll be quite interesting to see how my pen likes this one. How my glue dot in my pen likes it. But that's my round drills. Let me find my square drills. This is the only thing with letting the app decide on while I'm filming, is I have to hunt everything down. So we have an inventory sheet. That's good. I'm not sure how they're both going to line up together though. Oh, but they're all numbers and letters. And then we have the DMC code. I might be able to layer that one on top of that one and get a single sticker out of it. But they're all the silver-backed rhinestones in square. So it's good. I am quite interested to see how this one turns out. It's a nice canvas. It's got the nice scalloped edge. It doesn't have the fur back, but that's here nor there, as long as the canvas and the diamonds are nice. It has 30 different colours. And we do have varying amounts. So we do have some that there is quite a lot of. And this is me trying to think what storage to use, because I use the bottle storage so much that I actually want to use something different. I want to use something I've not used for a while actually. Let's use this Craftmate storage, provided I have at least 30. Of course it's 7, 14, my maths is coming out now, 28. Oh yeah, we're fine. We definitely have at least 30 across the 2. So let's use this. I might actually get away with borderline if I'll get away with just not overlapping one over the other. So I think I will need to do some doctoring of the stickers to make them work, but I haven't used this one for a while. So these are Craftmates and they slip in and they actually lock. So to open one you have to press this in to be able to open up the container. And then it locks all the rest when you let go. So you can tip out the one you want. You can actually push it back in and then it'll lock back in. You have to push it again to unlock it. So I'm going to use these. Whether I keep them in the case or not will probably depend on when I'm working at it on my easel. When I'm working with it, I may find that this case, I may have room on the couch next to me, though quite often Luna takes that space. So I may just pop these on top of my Rascod cards. So if it doesn't fit nicely, I'll just tuck them underneath instead. Okay, so we have diamonds, we have storage. It does use numbers and letters and keeps things in DMC order. So we will just kit it up in the same order that it came in. I need my trimmer though. It was between using this and using my dot box, which I haven't used for a while as well. But what I want to do is I want to cut out quite close, if I can, close-ish, this strip of letters. That was close-ish, but not quite. And then I want to cut out this smaller one. At least I don't have multiples, so I don't need to figure out which one is which, because the long one goes with the long one and the short one goes with the short one, which is easy enough to figure out. I will need to cut some more in a moment. So I'm going to use some sort of mini micro dot tape adhesive. This I actually got from Stationery Pal, and it was there right in front of my nose. So I'm going to use that just to stick this one closer to the DMC numbers. It's quite nice that I have rhinestones with DMC numbers. Let's use this offcut. Normally I would just use this straight and make a mess on my desk. But let's try not to make too much of a mess on my desk. So all the bits that are too wide are there. And then I'm going to start from this bottom because that's where the 3/8 numbers are. And line that up right next to my DMC numbers. So that will become my new shorter sticker, which I'll pop through my sticker maker. I could potentially just use this on the back of it. However, I prefer the sticker maker in the fact that it comes with its own backing for you to then peel it off. So I've tape runnered that. Let's fold that piece of paper up because that's covered in glue now. And then line this one up next to it. And that tells me what each of the numbers are. So what I want to do now is trim it again down the side to get rid of this excess, and I want to trim down this side of the DMC numbers, preferably not cutting them off, to give me a strip that can go through my sticker maker. And that's how I like to shorten them. Shorten the stickers when you get an inventory sheet where they're too far apart, to be able to get a nice size sticker out of it. And that one I didn't do anywhere near as close. I'm also cutting off the excess on the bottom and the top because there is no point in making those sticky in my sticker maker and potentially wasting my sticker stuff. So I just need those two bits. So get rid of all the excess paper. I don't need the bits that tell me how many diamonds. I no longer need my trimmer. I will need my scissors though. So this is my Xyron 150 sticker maker. I'm just going to do one at a time. I could possibly have got both in, but I'm just going to do each one separate. So that's one. And then we'll pop this little one through. And there's my little one. which I did go a little bit skewiff on. And if I rub that down, what happens now is any of the excess sticky, bar what has gone on the back of my sticker, is on here, so I can get rid. And then at least I have something to hold on to and to keep my stickers on until I'm finished. Same with the second one. And then I want to trim down the middle of these, but I'm not cutting all the way through the sticker piece because I don't want a load of single bits flying around everywhere. That's the last thing I want, is lots of single stickers and me having to try and put them all together again. That just sounds like too much of a pain. So I'm going to cut through, making sure I'm going all the way through the sticker, but as I say, just not all the way through the backing paper. Cut them as neat as I can-ish. As long as I can see the symbol and the DMC number, I should be good. Now I can move these about, but they are in a row of 7. So I'm going to label them up from here, and I'm going to pop them on this top section. I could possibly get them on here, but I think the top section is less likely to get knocked about by my fingers. So then we've got 3, 4. It's going to be nice to work on a rhinestone one, though I will have 2 squares on the go, and the last one I did, the mystery, was also a square. Apart from the advent, it feels like it's been a while since I've done a round painting. And I do like a good round. We'll have to see if it picks a round painting for me afterwards. So I've now got a large painting in square kitted up, a 30 by 40 painting in square kitted up, and then Paint Gem Minis are also a square. I'll really enjoy a round when I get round to doing another round one. I have had advent though in between, and that was round, so I actually like doing both. I know some people just prefer squares or just prefer rounds. I like mixing it up, and because I have more smaller paintings in round than I do in square, even though my decision wheel has kept picking the squares, I do have more round paintings than squares. Not that you'd believe it at the moment. So normally it's been picking for me a round painting in my 30 by 40s, and then I tend to have more big paintings in square, so it's been picking more of those. But I say, it's all good. So pop the last one on there. That's that sticker sheet done with. I need to cut through these ones. Cut through the last few, and I don't think I'll have any problems either with the amount of diamonds going into these pots, because these are really big. They're actually bigger than my Star Raw set that I've used for Advent. These ones that are a similar sort of style, but these are a lot smaller than these ones, which is quite often a good thing. But I say, I feel like it's been a while since I've used these, and I like the fact that even those bigger bags, like this bag of 939, I am still likely to be able to get them all in here and not have any extras, because my large painting at the moment, I already have a book ring with extra bags on. If you saw that kitting up, I already have a book ring with my extra bags hanging off my craft cart, and if I have two, I have to pay more attention to what I'm doing, which is not always a good thing. There we go. This is what I'll be using for this painting. So let's start with 939 and let's see how many I can fit in. I was wondering whether to open all of these. They do sometimes take a little bit of jiggling to get in, but they're not awful. And then I'll just push them down when they're done. See how we go. Are we going to fit all the 939 in? Just. And I've got a little bit of static. I just use my finger to get the last ones out. I thought one had fell into the pot next to it then. I thought I'd made a rookie mistake opening them all. I possibly still have. Might not have been the best plan. Just trying to get the last of the diamonds out the bag. So they are a little bit staticky, they're not too bad. And I'm hoping this is the biggest bag that I have. But actually the 939 has a bit of a purple look to it. Maybe that's just because it's in rhinestones. The last one in. Okay, so they have all fit in. I have got a little bit of wiggle room. I'll get down my bin to get rid of my rubbish. Have we got any more that go in here? What do we want? 700, sevens and nines. No, I'm not finding a load. Let's try one at a time. Start with the 554. Ooh. So these can be great if you have a lot of accidents. It can sometimes just take a little bit of getting used to opening them up, because sometimes you do have to pull it quite a bit. It's a bit of a stiff pull to open them up. Not hugely, but it just takes a while to get used to the stiffness more than it's hard to do. You get so used to putting a certain amount of pressure on opening, you know, a type of storage, that when you then have a type of storage that you have to be a little bit harsher with, it can just take a minute for your brain to adjust. That's what I find anyway. Those Star Raw open quite easily, so I'm treating these gently instead of giving them what for. Okay, 3842. Just need to give them a bit more welly. Pop in the blue. Pretty blue. I don't think I've done a painting. I did a small painting that was all AB diamonds. It was from Row Diamonds before they closed down, and it was all ABs. But I haven't yet done a painting that is all rhinestones, unless you count special paintings, but they tend to be partials. This one is a full drill. It's all rhinestones, and on top of that it is all square rhinestones, which is also new to me. I haven't worked on with any square rhinestones yet, I don't think. So there are many different types out there. Oh, that's a gorgeous blue. Look at the sparkle in that blue. Okay, what have we got next? 3078. Very hint of a pale green on this one. Pale green, pale yellow maybe. 3852. Top of the shop. These may have been in order when the painting was received, but I did do an unboxing on this one. So they're all out of order now. It is what it is. Ooh, 818, pretty pale pink. That is nice. That's a nice pale one. That goes in here. Yes, I'm rather excited to see how this one turns out. I've had a mystery one, which was a little bit different, and then I've had a rhinestone one that's a little bit different. The app is being nice to me. I have 907 here. Let's bob that one in while I can see it. Nice lime green. Love a bit of lime green in a painting. 780 should be in here. That's an orange, more of a burnt orange than a bright orange. 720. That's a bit of a brighter orange, though it does have a bit of a look of red actually on this one. It definitely says it's number 720. And I think it's the sort of painting that will look amazing, like there's not too much shading because it is a floral. It's not too bad on any type of shading that you have to have it going from one tone to another. I'm not sure how doing, for example, a person's face with the different shading, different, you know, angles of their face, how that sort of shading would go in rhinestones. But maybe there is somebody who's done a all rhinestone painting that has shading that will know what it looks like. I just had one stuck to me of that one, and I felt like I couldn't get rid of it because it's a rhinestone one. Right, 3843. So there is a bit of static in these, but it's actually not behaving too badly getting out of the bag. They're not being terribly annoying, but apart from when I find one afterwards. But that's one of them done, albeit only 2 colours in it. So we'll move that out the way so I don't keep getting mixed up. We've got 208. Again, a little bit of jumping about. Come on. No, we're just going to jump out onto my desk. I've spotted 154, so I'm going to grab that. I might try and turn some of these over and grab ones that I spot that are due in this pot, just to help me out a little bit. This is 154, which is a deep purple. And this one's definitely got a lot more static than the others. It's flying all over the place. Get in there and calm yourself down. I'll probably calm down before I actually get to start working on this one. I might pop some pieces of dryer sheet in if I find they're being a bit too much of a pain. But quite often I find once they've gone into tubs, they're normally pretty good after that. And they calm down by the time I need to actually put them on a painting. 340. We've got 413. There it is. Oh, see, the grey can behave itself perfectly. But the grey has a little hint of blue to it. 550, deep purple. And that does look like a very deep purple. Okay, that one's done. It's the first tub. What have we got next? 917. That's actually the last one in this tub. Is that from this bag? No, don't know where that's from. Probably from those ones that were jumping about everywhere before. 917. 977. So let's see if we can finish up this row before we pop them back in the storage and sort out my canvas. 3822. All the rest of the ones in here are 3000, so I'm just grabbing anything that I can see that's 4 digits. Because it has to go in here. It's all that's left. 3810. That is a gorgeous blue. That's beautiful. Not sure if it even picks up the sparkle properly, but that is nice. 3608. This is a nice pink as well. A nice sort of dusty pink. And then 3837. Some purple. That's a pretty purple. Or at least it is in rhinestones. Very pretty. Okay, that one's done. And then last but by no means least, we have the 666 red. Then we have some deeper reddish pink, more of a deep pink. And last but by no means least, we have another blue. It's always this last pot that seems to give me more trouble. But we have the last blue. And there we go. Pretty. Okay, let's get these back into the storage. So, actually thinking about it, I would be much better, because if this does end up sitting on the top of my cart, I might do it that way. So if this does end up sitting on the little breadboard I have on the top of my IKEA cart, it'd be nice to get hold of them from both sides. So we have that one, then that one, then that one. And then we have that and then that. If it doesn't work in the actual case itself, and I'm just thinking, you know, less distance to reach, if I stick to them more this way, then I will just take them out and sit them on the top of my cart. You've got the option of using them in the case or loose. And if you're one of these people that likes lots of projects kitted up, you could start naming them if you wanted. I am rather going to actually use the sheet. What I do like to do is take my sticker that has been used to store the diamonds on the bag and pop that somewhere on my case, just in case, because it may be a while before I actually get to start this. Depends how much I am into working on my large painting that's kitted up. So if it is going to be a while, then at least I can definitely confirm I've grabbed hold of the right diamonds. So last but not least, I do still have quite a few cover sheets in here. I wasn't sure how many I would have then, because I have 2 of these cover paper holders. One stays in here and one stays in my cart that I use when I'm diamond painting. The thing is, the cart is where they tend to go when I take them off. And this is the one I tend to use when I put them on. So every now and then I do keep telling myself I need to refill this with the ones from out there. As you can tell, it's not happened yet. But this is a poured glue canvas, so it comes with the clear cover sheet. However, I don't like the clear cover sheets. I find I can go a-wandering with my diamonds and there's no organised structure. I prefer the cover sheets. So what I'm going to do this one slightly different in the fact I'm going to do it in the hope that I don't have to move things when I do the painting. So I'm going to actually do these neater and I'm going to line them up, bearing in mind that I work from the bottom up. So I'm starting at the top and lining it up, getting my straight edge here so that when I take the one off from the bottom, my top one is already in position. That's my thought. And I do tend to leave a little bit of a very, very thin hairline gap. And that's just so that I'm not, I'd rather have that hairline gap than have butted this up too close. And then I always end up with a little bit extra. It depends how much I overlap. But I'd rather have the option to have more of an overlap. I often work on I take 2 of these off at a time often. But by having the extra one, I may find that I do a bit, but then want to cover it back up. So we'll line that one up there. We have got a little bit more glue overhang on this side actually, so I just want to, I'm getting an overlap a little bit here as well until I pick a position. How many am I going to get going downwards though? Okay, I might need to overlap a little bit more just to still give myself a nice chunk across the bottom. Let's try there. If I end up with a thin strip across the bottom, that's fine. I'll just take 3 or 4 of them off and do the thin strip across the bottom. I always tend to work from the bottom across, and I'll work my way across the line and then I'll go up to the next row. However, when I get to the end, so when I get up here, quite often I go upwards and do the two rows upwards and do this fat section. Don't ask me why. It's just the way I tend to work. I get excited when I get near the end of a piece. I do it more with large paintings than I do with smaller ones. With smaller ones, I'm quite often happy to keep going across in rows. But with large paintings, I definitely get excited when I go near the end. And when I've only got 2 rows left, I like to take both sections off so that I can reach the top. And keep going across, reaching the top. Okay, let's give this, I'm trying to see if there's any particular line in the actual painting, but I don't think there is. So we'll just get whatever overhang we get. The only thing I may need to adjust when I go to diamond paint, and it purely depends on how many I decide to take off, is I may need to adjust this edge. But because I don't always take one sheet off, I often take more than one off. Then I'm not going to worry about that too much. I might line some of these up because I'm not lining it up at the bottom. And I have run out of cover sheets, but I have a plan. Rather than going out into my craft room, out of the craft room, sorry, into the conservatory, I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to use some of my smaller pieces that are were used for Advent. So I actually cut these pieces down for the December Advent, so they're smaller. So I'm going to use those, and then I will leave this out to make me refill it, ready for next time, but I think that works for now. So that's the neat way of putting my cover sheets on. Quite often I just throw them on, but I've gone for neat today. The only thing I haven't done actually is I didn't go neat with these two, did I? So what I want to do is go for that line. Let's fix this blunder, and then that line. So what I'll do when I go to start this is I'll probably take off these two, because it's a new painting. I'm figuring out how the rhinestones work with my pen, because it can vary between companies and between styles. Is I will tip out this letter V and I will do some of those. And if I find by the time I've done all the V's on here, actually, yeah, this is going down really easy, then I'll lift up this one as well and maybe do some more V's on it. Or I will finish up this section first and then maybe take two off for my next section. It will purely depend on how many I have to be able to do, how much time I have to be able to do to how many sections. But at least my top edges are straight, and then all I'll need to do when I pull up a section is just straighten up this edge, depending on how far I want to go. So I have been known, if I took this off, to go, oh actually I want to do like a section and a half, and I'll push that up to there and I'll do that bit. So, but it's a lot easier to just move one sheet to give you a straight edge than the whole row. Should be the way I kit up in future. May or may not be. But anyway, that is my Katie Dynamic Floral in rhinestones, all kitted up. We will see how quick I get this done. It really depends on how much I'm working on Vivian Fox, but I'll probably fit this into a whip and waffle at some point and get it started. And say sometimes I flip between the two, sometimes I get focused on one or the other until that one's finished. But yeah, when it is finished, I will of course show you what it looks like. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.